Pricing can be quite a fraught issue, and you can feel understandably pressured when someone else comes in much cheaper than you for the same job. Now, when two people or two businesses quote for the same job and come in at very different prices, in my experience, something gives. Something's not right, okay? You guys mostly price similar. You're mostly charging similar hourly rates. You're mostly paying people similar hourly rates. You're paying the same for your insurances. You're paying similar for your materials. So if there's a big difference, I'm not talking a small difference, that's price competition, but if there's a big difference, which is really what we're talking about here, something usually gives. Now, I'm John, and I'm taking a risk, I know, by wearing a pink jumper. I'm a business coach. I run Small Fish Business Coaching. I run the Tradies Toolbox coaching program for trades business owners looking to grow and scale from small and kind of informal to larger and sustainable and structured, and making enough money on your jobs, enough margin on your jobs to sustain all this structure and these people and the kind of loveliness and the moving forward sensation and enough people working in it so that everyone's having a nice time. You need the margins to be able to do that. And this video is about one small piece of that puzzle, and it's about resisting price pressure, which is one of my favorite themes. Okay, I'm a big believer that you must make enough profit in your jobs to build your sustainable business. And part of that is resisting downward price pressure from your customers or indeed from your competition. So one part of that is understanding and acknowledging that pricing and risk are very closely entwined. Generally speaking, if price goes down, risk for the customer goes up. Now, this is specific to trade businesses, okay? This is usually, but if something is much cheaper, I'm thinking something gives. We've all come across a larger business with more overheads, paying for more stuff like safety, like vehicles, like premises, like insurances, and like admin staff. Obviously, has to charge more than a one-man band operating at the back of his car. But that comes with risk too, right? He can be cheap, but he's more risky. It's more likely he won't still be there in 6 months or a year. It's more likely that he's underinsured or not insured. It's more likely that if he does a poor job and you need to come back to him, he will fold his business rather than pay. It's more likely that he doesn't have the resources to fix something up. It's more likely that he doesn't have the resources to do a good job. And it's more likely that many other things could go wrong with the customer's project that perhaps they can't foresee. So I want to explore those things. Let me start with an assumption, right, that your business is the first one I mentioned, right? A bit bigger or heading to a bit bigger, where you're starting to have or consider having admin people, premises, a factory or unit, have your proper insurance, pay for your proper safety systems to be in place, look after your people, pay them properly and appropriately and to the law, and build your jobs properly and do work that you're proud of and do a good job for your customers. If you're not those, then this is all meaningless to you. But if you are those and your competition is those who sometimes don't do it properly like you do, then that's the conversation we're having today. Okay? Now, to my mind, there are three major places that this risk shows itself. The first one is the one I've just spoken about, organizational risk. If your smaller or cheaper competitor is a smaller, cheaper organization, they probably don't have the right insurances. They might not be around for so long. They might be taking shortcuts with safety, and they might be paying less money to cheaper labor than your expensive, educated, experienced professional tradespeople. All those are things that can be risky. All those are things that can lead to your customers having a poorer experience with their job, right? So your customers wearing the risk by going with the cheap guy that they have a shittier time. Another one is the solution risk. Are these people going to do a good job, or are they going to corner us or make more mistakes? Lots of mistakes and problems in the construction industry can be hidden, can't they, right? And they don't surface till later when, if your builder didn't have longevity or your tradesman didn't have longevity, there's no comeback now. That's a risk that your customer takes. And the last one, of course, is a pricing and cost risk. Is the other quote for the same job that your quote is for? Are they doing it to the same standard? Have they forgotten something? Have you made a mistake and charged too much? But mostly, have they forgotten something, or have they missed out something crucial and important, or have they missed out or not included or chosen not to include something that compromises the quality of the job? Even with the way a price quote is structured, a proper, honest, fixed price quote has a lot of the risk with the builder or the tradesperson. And an open-ended time and materials quote, even with a great estimate, puts all the risk onto the customer. So there are many ways that risk can lie with your customer when they're comparing 2 or 3 or 4 quotes. And of course, it's your job always is to educate your customer as to what those risks are, as to how they're mitigated if they work with you, right? How they don't have those risks if they hire your company, because you've got the appropriate insurances, licenses, certificates. You've invested in your business. You've been around a long time. You intend to be around a long time. You have vehicles. You've invested in branding, in signage, in premises, in admin people, in uniforms, all those things that reassure people. They reassure people for a genuine reason, because they genuinely point to a commitment to your business and not to just making some quick money. Similarly with the solution, if you explain how you've constructed your solution, how you're building their house or their extension or their bathroom, and the care you're taking and the things you've included, and you encourage them to compare that to the other quote, you're helping them understand the risk they might bear. And the same with the price. You need to explain how your price is structured, whether it's a fixed price quote, I hope it is. Ask them to go and check properly whether the other one is. You won't win everybody. Some people will accept the reduced risk, but many people won't want the reduced risk. They won't want the risk of somebody not doing safety properly and somebody dying on their site. They won't want the risk of it going wrong and them having no one to come back to, a builder who's gone. They won't want the risk of not really understanding how their quote works and having to pay more money later. Right? And we've all come across these things and we've all seen them happen. So that's your job, okay, is to educate your customers. It's easier if you start early, before they've got two different prices on the table. And of course, I'm a business coach. In my coaching program, that's what I'll help you to do. I'll help you prepare those arguments. I'll help you articulate why you're good, why you're useful, what value you bring to the situation specific to your business and your industry. And I'll help you put it into your sales process and your documentation, and all importantly, into your marketing too, right? Let's start right at the beginning so your customers are educated from the beginning of their interaction with you as to what they get for their money. Because the job is not just a job. There are many things that can change, and risk, I think, is the most important one. So if you'd like me to help, click on the link below and book yourself a time to chat with me. The way to get into business coaching is to have a chat with me first and see if we like each other before we get into anything else. See you later.